There comes a point in life when you feel like you've tried everything. You've used logic to hold your ground. You've pushed through the pain with sheer will. You've stayed strong far longer than most would even attempt. But now, the weight has started to feel too heavy to carry on your own. It's that quiet moment when even your strength begins to feel like a burden. You look around, hoping something will shift. But nothing moves. Nothing changes. And somewhere deep within, a voice begins to speak, softly, hesitantly, saying something you've tried to ignore. Let go. At first, those words feel wrong. They sound like failure, like giving up, like weakness. Because the world has taught you to fight, to hold on, to never back down. We've been told that surrender means defeat. But what we rarely understand is this: surrender is not the end of effort. It is the beginning of something deeper than effort. It's not about collapsing. It's about realignment. When Arjuna stood on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, shaking, unsure, overwhelmed, it wasn't because he was weak. He wasn't afraid of war. He wasn't afraid of pain. He was drowning under the weight of duty, emotion, and the impossible question of what was right. And in that moment, Krishna didn't tell him to fight harder. He didn't say, "Be stronger." He said something much deeper. "Leave behind all your ideas of right and wrong, and surrender to me." It wasn't an order to walk away from battle. It was an invitation to stop carrying it alone. Because what Krishna knew, and what we so often forget, is that when you try to control everything, you only get more tangled. But the moment you release that control, not from apathy, but from trust, something begins to shift. Surrender does not mean turning your back on life. It simply means you stop forcing it. You stop telling yourself that every solution must come from your mind alone. You stop believing that you have to figure out everything all at once. And when that weight lifts, even just a little, you begin to breathe differently. You begin to see with more clarity. And you begin to remember that there is something, or perhaps someone, greater than your fear, standing quietly beside you. What many call surrender is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the moment when you realize you don't have to hold what was never fully yours to carry. It's when your knees touch the ground, not in defeat, but in remembrance. Remembrance of where true strength comes from. There is a kind of sacred power in closing your eyes and whispering, "I don't know what to do anymore, but I'm willing to be guided." Because when your mind is full of plans and your heart is full of fear, there is no space for guidance to enter. But when you surrender, when you open your hands and say, "I'm ready to be led," the path that once looked hidden begins to reveal itself, slowly, gently. Krishna never promised Arjuna that surrender would remove the war. But he did promise that surrender would remove the confusion. And once that fog cleared, Arjuna could walk into the same battle, not as someone crushed by duty, but as a soul aligned with truth. This is the quiet strength of surrender. It may not change your circumstances right away, but it transforms you from within. It replaces the tight grip of fear with the lightness of trust. It turns restlessness into clarity. It transforms silent struggle into steady resilience, the kind that does not shout, but endures. Sometimes, surrender is the most courageous choice you can make. Because it means letting go of the belief that you are the only one responsible for holding everything together. It means stepping out of the role of controller and into the arms of something greater. It means being able to say, with honesty and with peace, "I am not alone anymore." And when you start to live like that, When you surrender not just once, but again and again, every time your mind begins to tighten, your life begins to soften. You stop dragging yourself uphill. You start moving with the flow. You feel supported, even in the unknown. It becomes less of a struggle and more of a rhythm. A quiet, steady rhythm, where each step is guided, not forced. So if you find yourself in a season where nothing is going to plan, if your strength feels like it's fading, if your heart doesn't know what to hold on to, maybe this isn't a failure. Maybe it's a redirection. Maybe this is not the time to try harder. Maybe this is the moment to let go. Completely, gently, without fear. Because what looks like surrender from the outside might actually be divine alignment from within. Krishna is not asking you to give up on life. He's asking you to release the part of yourself that believes it has to carry everything alone. And when you do that, when you surrender in that way, a new kind of power rises in you. Not the power to control, but the power to trust. Not the power to force, but the power to flow. Not the power to win, but the power to live in truth, steady, rooted, and free. And that power will carry you through anything.